Welcome to Glow Social Club, the space where powerhouse women come to reclaim their health, their clarity, and their leadership. I'm Jazmine Corona, functional nutritional practitioner and founder of Organically Glow and Glow Social Club. Around here, we don't do one-size-fits-all advice. We translate symptoms into strategy and build the kind of structure that actually sustains you. If you are ready to lead your health, your work, and your life with clarity, confidence, and conviction, you are in the right place. Let's begin. Welcome back to Glow Social Hours. So last week we had an amazing conversation with Dr. Adeela all about nervous system regulation, subconscious rewiring, and how trauma can impact your body, your health, your symptoms, and even your success. So as a high-performing woman, we think when we experience any type of burnout symptoms, this can be fatigue, this can be digestive stress, this can be hormonal imbalances, this can be just we can't handle stress, so we have mood instability. We think, wow, I am so weak. I cannot believe I have these symptoms right now. Like what is going on? My body is broken, right? We start spiraling. But really, the burnout happens because the nervous system has been stuck in survival for so long that we start thinking if we take time to rest, if we take time to slow down, I'm not going to get anything done. I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do. So hustling starts feeling safer than actually healing. So today we're going to be breaking down exactly how your nervous system shapes your symptoms, your stress, your hormones, and even your success. So let's just jump straight into what the nervous system actually does. So we're going to be chatting about how the nervous system responds to new information, to your environment. And then we're also going to really understand, okay, well, what even is the nervous system, right? So the nervous system is basically your command center. So this is what I call your command center when I'm breaking this down. So whenever you're getting new information, what happens is your brain will send a signal to your nervous system. Like, hey, we have new information. Do what you need to do with it, right? So if you are having a stressful day, you have back-to-back calls, you have so many other tasks that you need to do, your brain does not know the difference between, hey, we're just on a computer and we got some meetings to do, compared to a lion just walking through the door and you have to run for your life. The response is going to be the same. And this is our nervous system responding. So this is our sympathetic state that starts being activated. So we have the parasympathetic state and we have the sympathetic state when our nervous system is activated. The parasympathetic is safety, resting. And when we're in that state of rest and safety, our digestion works properly. We are in a state of healing. Our hormones are balanced. But when we're in the sympathetic overdrive, we are in survival mode. We are hustling. We feel like we can't pause right now because we have things to do. Your nervous system is literally telling you, we need to survive right now. So we need to do everything in our power to either flee, run away. We need to fight. So we'll pick fights, and this can definitely impact our relationships. Or we'll even freeze to the point where we're just laying down all day long and we physically and mentally feel like we can't do anything other than just lay there. So this sympathetic overdrive is honestly what's driving most of our population. We have been programmed to work and work and work, and pausing and taking rest breaks and taking vacations is like a privilege. But it's not a privilege. It's actually a requirement for our bodies to heal and to recalibrate. So most women, especially ambitious women like you, we do get stuck in this fight or flight response, right? So when we're having very stressful days, our body's like, okay, we just need to focus on this task right now. Like, we do not need to eat right now. So we're going to turn off our digestive system. What happens? Bloating when you do start to eat, we have belly pain, we have to run to the bathroom. Some people, they have to run to the bathroom after they eat. We have constipation, so we can't let go. There's so many different digestive symptoms that are tied back to stress, and that is the chronic activation of the sympathetic nervous system. And I want to remind you that your body is not malfunctioning, it's actually just protecting you. And so, how can we move away from this fight or flight response and get back to safety? Get back to actually healing, right? Because the body is always healing. However, we have these different barriers that kind of pauses our healing because we have other things to worry about, such as surviving. So let's jump into some of the other symptoms that are related back to nervous system overdrive. So usually it's not only your digestive system that gets impacted by your nervous system being stuck in survival. It can also impact your hormones because, again, when we are stuck in this fight or flight response, guess what hormones gets released? All your stress hormones. So your adrenaline, your epinephrine, your cortisol, right? Everything is getting released because those hormones are what help you survive. But again, when we're stuck in that chronic state, that's over a long period of time, that means we are constantly pumping out these stress hormones that are leading to hormonal imbalances, insomnia, just blood sugar issues, chronic fatigue, maybe even belly fat, right? We start holding on to weight because it's like, hey, we need to survive, so we need to pack on the pounds right now. For high functioning women who are stuck in this nervous system overdrive state, some of the patterns that I usually see are the overachievers. So you have reached all your goals and you start creating new goals and you just start working towards them, right? Without even pausing and celebrating yourself, without even taking time to realize how far you actually come on your journey, right? This can be with your success. This can be with your relationships, with your life. This can even be on your healing journey, right? This is a pretty common pattern I see too with the women I work with is they truly believe that they have to do everything themselves. So the hyper independence with which Dr. Adeela talked about in her last episode last week. So make sure you guys go listen to that episode because she dropped some amazing gems that I'm like, we should have paid for this. Um, but anyway, so the hyper independence is that feeling of like, I need to do everything myself. No one can help me. No one can do anything for me because I can do it. Why would I need someone else to do it for me, right? So that hyper independence again is another sign, another pattern of the nervous system being stuck in survival. You are so scared to outsource. You are so scared to bring someone into your journey like, hey, I need help right now, right? So that hyper independence can be a sign of that nervous system being stuck in that overdrive pattern, stuck in that survival mode. We also have this constant internal pressure, right? Everything can be perfect around you, right? If you actually think about it. You have healthy relationships, you have healthy kids, you've gotten all your promotions, you are working extremely hard, but you still feel like you're not doing enough. Or there's this internal pressure where you're like, no, I need to do more. Like nothing's ever enough. That goes back into the next one, right? Is feeling like anything you do is not enough. Like you have to constantly be on this personal health journey, this personal development journey. You have to be constantly reaching for that next goal, next milestone. And that can really impact the nervous system, not only causing you to continue this cycle of being stuck in that fight or flight response, but it can also push you into that fight or flight response. You also can believe that rest is not okay. Resting is lazy. You feel guilty for taking time off or resting for 20 minutes, right? You need a nap, go take a nap, right? Like your nervous system, your body is always communicating to you. So, what happens is a lot of the times when the nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight response, you won't see improvements in your symptoms as much as you do, right? You can be doing all the things. I'm talking about the restrictive diets, the supplementation, maybe working with different practitioners, maybe being a practitioner yourself, and you went on this journey because you're like, I need to figure out how to heal myself. And you're constantly stuck in this cycle where you're like, okay, I have this symptom. Let me try to remedy it. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go back to square one. Okay, I have this symptom. Let me try this diet. What happens? You feel good for a short period of time, and then the symptom comes back. This is also what I call the symptom cycle. So you have a symptom, you bring in a solution. Okay, you feel good for a couple weeks. What happens? The symptom comes back when you either stop whatever you were on or whatever you were doing, or it just kind of hits a plateau where you're like, okay, like it was working and now it's not. So the nervous system is a huge hidden cause behind this. And so this is why the nervous system is one of the foundations of functional wellness that we talk about in my practice. I tell every single client, if we are seeing improvements in our health and then eventually something stops it. So I have a lot of women who come to me from other practitioners and they're like, yeah, like I was seeing improvements. And then out of nowhere, like there was no improvements. I don't know. Like I feel like there's a deeper layer. And I'm like, yes, there is a deeper layer. Our nervous system is out of whack. So we have to regulate it. And the nervous system is really all about safety. That's its goal. Its goal is it wants to feel safe and in control. So how can we start actually reversing this? How can we actually start finding freedom from these symptoms by regulating our nervous system? So let's just jump straight into some things that you can do right away that will start regulating your nervous system. So I have been really loving, this is something that I have recently introduced. I'm actually learning it so I can bring it into my practice, but EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or it's also known as tapping. So what's so amazing about this technique is it's primarily focused on the nervous system, your subconscious mind. And when we truly believe I can heal, but your subconscious mind is like, no, 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 no. Why are we slowing down? Why are we taking time to rest right now? Like we need to go, 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 right? So you feel like, okay, I believe I can heal by resting, by relaxing. I'm not guilty anymore, right? So you truly do believe that. However, your subconscious mind is still programmed to believe if I'm resting, I'm not getting things done. So then you really implement that survival mode again. So with EFT, we can actually rewire that pattern. So the next time we do rest, we're actually able to rest and heal. So that is one of the things that I absolutely love. EFT tapping is a great way to rewire the subconscious mind and on top of that, regulate the nervous system so you can find healing from your symptoms.
You don't need more wellness advice. What you're looking for are answers. If you're tired of wondering why you feel off, my one-time functional lab testing packages are your fast track to clarity. This is root cause insight without the long-term commitment. You'll get functional labs, a detailed breakdown of what's really going on, and a short-term protocol designed to bring immediate relief. It's not a transformation, it's a turning point. A way to stop guessing, start strategizing, and take grounded action right now. If you are craving clarity without the overwhelm, head to organicallyglow.com and book your testing package today. Because your symptoms aren't random, they are readable, and I'll help you decode them.
Another thing that is really important too, which Dr. Adeela talked about this in our last episode, was slowing down. Slowing down. And that has probably been one of the hardest things for me to do when I was on my journey, and honestly now too. It's still a work in progress, but I really do have a morning ritual in place where I have slow mornings when I can. I will wake up early and I will take at least 10 to 15 minutes to journal, to just like slowly wake up. Some people, if you don't have the time to do that, I get it, but you also have to make the time to do it. We're all super busy, but you can take 5 minutes to slow down. And sometimes we just need that tough love or that permission to, yes, I can slow down. So slowing down is a gift. It is so amazing for your nervous system, and it really does give you the space and the time to truly listen to your body and listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Journaling is another one. So you can always like mix these around. You can try all of them and see like which one works best for you. I always say you have to find what works best for you. So this is why I always say this is a healing journey, right? This is a process. It's not a quick fix. It's not a one-time thing. You want to implement this consistently. So journaling is a great one. There's so many different ways to journal. You can just brain dump on a sheet of paper. You can do morning pages, which is just like as soon as you wake up, you're just dropping everything that comes to your mind. That's also kind of similar to a brain dump. You can also just write a gratitude list. Okay. That is so powerful because that's really making you pause and reflect on what am I actually grateful for right now? So it brings you back into like a present state. Another thing that I really love to do too is honestly praying. Okay. Praying, meditating, listening to frequency music or like high frequency music is super healing and calming to the nervous system. Of course, I love the beach too. So nature is a very powerful that is literally all around us. So I live in the city and I'm not gonna lie, I am so drained by being in the city. And so in order for me to feel refreshed and rejuvenated and recalibrated in my body and in my nervous system, I go to the beach pretty frequently, as much as I can. Even if it's just like walking by the beach, getting outside near trees, anywhere there is nature, it's going to help you so much. Like, there have been so many studies where being in nature physically, biologically reduces cortisol levels in your body. It releases stress hormones in your body, which is an indicator of your nervous system. I also, other just like testing techniques too, to know if things are working, because obviously I love data. Using data to actually back up, okay, what's actually working for my body? What's actually regulating my nervous system? Obviously, you can always use your intuition, really feel in your body like, is this working for me? Is this not working for me? You know when things are working for you, okay? Again, the Aura ring, I have been wearing it for so long. HRV is literally a data point of your nervous system. So I always see an increase in my HRV levels after going out in nature, walking by the beach. I'm not kidding you. My HRV levels just increase so much. So usually, since I do have a history of like autoimmune conditions, my typical number for HRV, let me actually bring this up real quick. So obviously, this is going to look a little bit different per person, but yesterday my number, my heart rate variability was 22 milliseconds. Okay. So that's how many beats, or that's how much time was in between each beat of my heart. Okay. Then that's measuring your heart rate variability, aka your nervous system regulation. So 22 is actually really low. I'm not going to lie. You actually want it, I believe, in the 50s is like optimal. And then, of course, the 70s is like amazing. 22, and why is that, right? So everyone's data is different. This is why you like to see the patterns, right? I like to look at patterns when it comes to data. So my heart rate variability was 22 yesterday. Just thinking back, thinking where I'm at in my cycle right now, I'm about to start my period in like 2 days. Every time when I'm about to start my period, my heart rate variability actually goes down. So why is that? Because obviously the period is a stressor, okay? you are going through so many different hormonal changes, your temperature is elevated, and then it drops, right? There's a lot of different fluctuations happening in our body. This specifically is a very common pattern for me. So in my luteal phase, usually my nervous system goes down or the heart rate variability goes down. And that is just telling me that I need more rest. I need more relaxation. I need to go by the beach so I can increase this number. So I am actually like restarting, refreshing my body. So that is something that you guys can look at if you love data like me. Monday was 35. Okay, that was my heart rate variability number. Let me look at. Oh, I love looking at this. Okay. Uh Okay, I'll go by months. Yeah, so mine is pretty typical, and like the 40s is pretty high for me. Yeah, 40s, 50s are pretty good for me. Again, right before my period, it decreases. So many things can impact your nervous system, right? Stress, stressors, alcohol. Holidays are coming up, so that's a stress on the nervous system. Okay, so that is one way to look at your heart rate variability is a good indicator of your nervous system. Or Ring measures that, which I love. Another thing that I like that most people look at, especially when you're looking at actual research, is your stress hormones. So looking at your cortisol levels, which I love a Dutch test for cortisol levels. It measures all of your cortisol levels, which is great. And then we also look at your stress hormones too, and also symptoms. Symptoms play such a big role. So those are all going to be great ways to measure your nervous system and how well it is regulated, and if you need to bring in more support, if you don't need to bring in more support, right? So it's all about learning what your body specifically requires to heal. So those are some nervous system tips that I absolutely love. I mean, I can list so many different it's so many different nervous system regulating tools. If you guys want more information on that, you guys can definitely reach out to me and I can send you my list of nervous system regulation tools. I also have this for every single one of my clients. So if you are a client listening to this, make sure you reach out to me, or you can also just head over to our wellness community and it's right in there. But these are some tips and tools that you can start right away to start regulating your nervous system. This is going to be key to not only healing, but finding freedom and peace and feeling at home in your body. The nervous system, like I said, is going to be something that you hear so much more. And I'm going to say already, I'm like, in the next 6 to 12 months, everyone's going to be talking about the nervous system. It's going to be this trend. It's going to be this thing that, is popping off on TikTok and all the things. And for a good reason, because the nervous system is amazing. One last thing before I let you guys go. If you guys are interested in learning more about trauma and how physical symptoms are connected back to your nervous system, there is a really good book called The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know who it's by. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but it's a very popular book and it is all about the nervous system. And that really opens your eyes to how the nervous system can impact you physically, mentally, emotionally. So we really want to stay on top of our nervous system hygiene and really just support ourselves every single day, even if it's 5 minutes a day. If you guys have any questions for me about the nervous system, if you are like, oh my gosh, every single symptom, everything you are talking about is so me, make sure you book a free call. And I would love to chat with you a little bit more about how we can help you start healing your symptoms, start healing your body, and optimizing your health through nervous system regulation tools. Of course, there's so much more that we dive into, but again, if you guys do have any further questions, you guys can always send me a DM too. So I hope you guys love this episode, and make sure you guys go listen to our last week's episode with Dr. Adeela because it was absolutely amazing. And she just broke down very complex topics into easy, simple ways for us to start healing right away. Thank you again, and I will see you guys next time.
You lead teams, households, businesses, but no one taught you how to lead your health. Most wellness advice wasn't built for women like you, high functioning, chronically fatigued, done with surface level fixes that don't actually work. That's why I created my one-on-one personalized wellness plans. We start with functional labs, we decode your symptoms, and we build a protocol that's rooted in data and designed for your reality. This isn't trendy wellness, this is root cause medicine that leads to restorative care. It's clarity, structure, and sustainable results for women who carry a lot and deserve to feel like themselves again. If you are ready for precision support and a practitioner who sees the full picture, head to organicallyglow.com, book a call, and let's rebuild your energy at the root so you can lead everything else from a place of clarity.
If today's conversation shifted something inside of you, if it brought you clarity, relief, or a new way to see your health as a leadership tool, I'd love for you to share this with another powerhouse woman in your world. And remember, symptoms aren't the problem, they are the signal. When you start translating them, you stop surviving and you start leading with clarity. I'll see you next time inside Glow Social Hour.